And we're back, YouTube.
Hello again. I'm back too. Let the insanity commence. And I have a drink this time, so I can not dry out my throat quite as much.
Am I going this way?
Ah,
I don't know what.
beats iced tea during a nice hot summer day.
Oh, wait, no, I know I'm going this way.
Not as talkative, probably, but probably because I just had dinner, so I'm a bit content.
That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, my dad cooked some pork chops in our smoker, and they turned out really good. I had some potatoes and veggies, so...
Sounds like you had a nice dinner.
Oh yeah, my dad's been really doing good with the smoker we have. I mean, I used to not really like smoked meat because the smoker we had before, the one we now have, just would smoke the meat to the point where it just tasted like you're just getting a mouthful of charcoal every time you ate the piece of it, so because it was so smoky, and it just was awful. And we got this current one, and we decided to test it out with this really good pork roast my mom had bought that day. And it just turned out beautifully, and it was just fantastic. It was even good with a little barbecue sauce on top. And it was awesome. I mean, the smoke flavor was there, but it wasn't overwhelming. Loved it. So I'm really, really loving smoked meat now, thanks to that smoker we got. And then the second thing we cooked was smoked beef brisket for my mom's birthday dinner. So and that was back in June. June. Yeah, June. Sometimes I keep track. I mean, I remember my own birthday, but sometimes other people's birthdays. It just I hate that.
I don't know anyone's birthday other than my own and my brother's. I don't even know my own mom's birthday.
That's kind of sad. Yeah.
I have a vague idea of when it is. But
a vague idea?
Vague idea.
Sorry, I know you're Canadian, though, but it's just I pronounce it vague, so it's just I don't know.
It's similar, if nothing else.
I suppose, yeah. It just kind of threw me off for a minute. Oh well. Alrighty.
I might just be pronouncing it wrong, too.
Yeah, anything's possible. But then again, most Brits pronounce schedule, so...
Well, that's schedule.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say to that.
That's a very specific example, is what I'm trying to get across.
Yeah, fair enough. Still funny, though. Anyway, oh yeah, right.
I'm trying to... You know what? This would help immensely. The X-ray vision.
Yeah, X-ray vision is always a plus, unless you're Superman. Then you'd probably feel like a voyeur all the time. Oh well.
Okay, let's take a better look here.
No, I haven't seen Man of Steel, and yes, I've heard about the big spoiler, and I'm not happy about it. And I'm not
I haven't seen it, and I haven't heard about the spoiler, so...
Well, it's
please,
something
do enlighten me.
Well, I don't want to spoil it. Well, it's something that involves General Zod, and I don't really want to...
I don't even know who General Zod is.
He's another Kryptonian, actually. According to what I mean, I'm more a Marvel fan than a DC fan, but he's basically another Kryptonian who he was like a Kryptonian criminal who was imprisoned in the Phantom Zone before Krypton's destruction, and so as a result he managed to survive.
Phantom Zone. Yes, I totally understand.
The Phantom Zone is like some kind of prison that's like in another dimension that Kryptonians send their worst criminals to. So,
okay.
Basically, like I said, I'm not really up on my DC lore. If my friend Nick was in the call, he'd be able to talk more about it than I do. Most of my knowledge of the DC stuff comes from the cartoons anyway, so... I'm more of a Marvel fan, so...
I don't read comics.
Fair enough. I mean, although lately I haven't really read the comics much lately, I mostly follow the movies, so...
Like, I'm interested, but I don't read comics.
I do admit that comics can be a bit ambitious at times to get into, because the storylines can just... It's just nowadays the comics have this problem where they're basically catering the storylines towards hardcore fans who've been reading them all their lives, and sometimes it just kind of leaves the casual viewer in the dust as to how to follow it.
Yeah. If it makes any difference, I read manga.
Yeah, I read some manga, but like anime, I'm kind of a casual fan of it, so I pick and choose what stories are interesting to me.
Sort of the same way.
Yeah, the last anime I remember watching was Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, so...
that was a good one, actually.
Yeah, I actually thought it was better than the original series. Because it actually, the ending actually felt like it was, like, closure, as opposed to just, like, keeping things hanging, you know?
I found a head. Okay, so the heads are reserve tanks.
Yeah, okay, that's weird.
That's a graphical change that wasn't expected, or known about.
And I was just talking about reserve tanks in the last video.
You were.
Yeah. I like reserve tanks, though. They're cool.
Reserve tanks are alright.
Kind of wish they'd bring them back for Metroid. We haven't really seen them since Super, really. It's kind of a shame.
They're not really afraid of anything. In fact, that's kind of their entire purpose. To not afraid of anything.
Fair enough, I'll give you that one.
I don't think I'll go for the second one, though. Well, this is sort of intended to be 100%. So I guess I will, but not at the moment. Why did I use a missile there?
I have no idea, dude. I really don't know.
I'm just kind of complaining to myself.
That's alright, I tend to do that a lot myself. Like, what am I doing? I'm such an idiot. You know?
Yeah. Why did you do that?
You moron! That's not supposed to go that way.
It's not supposed to go at an angle.
Funny you should say that. Tony was actually streaming a Cards Against Humanity thing, like the online version, like last night, and I decided to kind of jump in and play a few rounds with him and a few other people that were in there. Although the moderators of the chat on the stream were the only ones in the Skype call, which I understand. I wasn't a moderator, unfortunately. Wish I was, though, because Josh Jepson ended up joining the call since his girlfriend was part of the group. And he played a couple rounds, and it was kind of cool to play Cards Against Humanity with Josh. It was I'm surprised he didn't. I'm surprised he didn't. I mean, I'm glad he didn't really put two and two together that I'm the same because my usernames were different on Cards Against Humanity and Twitch were totally different. Because and I'm kind of glad he didn't, because there was one time I kind of let my sick sense of humor kind of come out a bit, like for like this one that ended up having me win the round, which was the card that was blank, good to the last drop, and I just decided on a whim to play one of my cards which said incest.
Yeah,
I'm kind of glad he didn't put two and two together, but because he probably would have like, oh my god, that guy's sick.
I would have voted for that.
Cards Against Humanity on the whole is a game where you kind of have to let your sick sense of humor fly if you expect to actually make any progress. But you know,
I would have voted on that.
Yeah, I mean,
well, If I were the card czar, I would have given you.
Someone in the chat, actually, on the stream, actually said, "Okay, who selected incest and won the round?" And I kind of meekly said, "Me," and they're like, "No, that couldn't be you." Straight laced for that. And I'm like, "Oh, you don't know me that well at all." I mean, and my first experience actually playing Cards Against Humanity was the physical version. When, like this past January, it was my brother's birthday, so my brother Owen's birthday. So we went over to his house to kind of celebrate, and he had some like Mike's Hard Lemonade and stuff. And his best friend was over there too to celebrate, and he brought his big deck of Cards Against Humanity, and we played it. And I was a little bit buzzed, so I figured I basically played it while I was buzzed and had a lot of fun. So, yeah, it was really fun. And it was my first time playing anything that audacious. So. And I loved and my mom decided to just play it too, just to see what the heck is this game supposed to be. And she was actually surprised at some of the rounds I won based off of the cards I played. She was just like, "Wow, Kev, what the hell?" Like,
yeah, it kind of evokes that reaction.
Yeah, there was even sorry about that. But there was even one time where the question was, the Vatican has announced that they have a room dedicated solely to blank, and I ended up winning the round by selecting and playing my card, which read the homosexual agenda. So yeah. And my brother Owen couldn't believe that I'd be that audacious. Because, you know, I mean, he knew I could add a bit of a humor to me that was a bit on the...
Well, what? Did he think you'd have a card and not play it?
Who out there I could get, you know? But I guess the alcohol was kind of diminishing my inhibitions a bit.
Yeah, no, I would have played that card, drunk or not.
Yeah. I just decided, you know, it's probably not going to win the round. I need to get rid of this card, you know, so I figured, what the hell.
It was a throwaway, basically.
Yeah, and I ended up...
Not even basically, it was a throwaway. And you ended up winning on it.
It's a lot of fun playing that game. In fact, me and it was like, okay, who played the homosexual, and I kind of, he clears my hand, and he looks at me like, and he kind of puts his head in his hands like, oh my god, my kid brother's insane. not that he's any better, but still, and he's just like, I can't believe he'd go there. You know, I mean, I am a Christian, but I'm not afraid to mock the more strict people of my faith, you know, let's be honest here. Because quite frankly, you know, you shouldn't take your faith so seriously, you know? I mean, because it's a sense of humor and free will for a reason. I mean, I'm sure God's got quite a sick mind in himself. I mean, how else do you explain platypuses, for Pete's sake? You know, so... I'm probably stealing a joke from Robert Williams there, but still, I mean...
Probably.
Like, you know...
I know.
Still. And I just hope I haven't offended any of your audience who are Christian. And if they are Christian...
Oh god, if they're offended, they don't deserve to be my audience.
I'm surprised. But still... I just offended half the country. I'm so proud of myself. Anyway, shut up, Kevin. But yeah.
Yeah, seriously, if they're offended, they don't deserve to be my audience.
Yeah, fair enough.
If you are offended, leave my channel now, please.
I mean, if someone does say something that I find offensive, I'll just kind of diffuse it by kind of smiling and laughing it off instead of just being like, "Oh my god, you need to burn in hell for that," you know? I find it better just to diffuse it with a laugh, you know? You know? Even if it's just like a nervous little, you know, then, you know, just to kind of...
you don't need to call them out on it.
Yeah. Just be polite about it, you know, be civil.
You don't need to be an asshole.
Exactly.
Nobody ever needs to be an asshole.
Yeah, I know, but tell that to the Westboro Baptist Church. They thrive on it.
I don't even know where I'm going anymore. Oh, hey, a map room.
Map room!
Maybe that'll help.
Knock on wood. And that doesn't seem to help much at all. So much you haven't explored. Oh, God. Anyway.
I want the wave beam.
Yeah, the wave beam's kind of cool, although you can't equip it with the plasma beam.
You can. You're thinking of Spazer.
Oh, it's okay. I always get those two mixed up when it comes to Super Metroid. I don't know why. Maybe because they haven't really used the Spazer much since Super Metroid.
Yeah, I just went the wrong way.
It's like the Lakitu in Mario Kart 64. Wrong way, wrong way. Ooh, speaking of Mario 64, the 64 emulator, actually my new controller actually works really well with Project 64.
Oh.
In fact, I just installed version 2.1 of it recently, and it just works like a real treat. I love it.
Nice. What kind of controller do you have?
It's a kind of Logitech controller. I don't know the exact brand, but my brother told me it was pretty reliable, so...
Logitech's a good brand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I have a Mayflash. It's not a controller in and of itself, but it's a converter, USB converter for... I have one for 2 N64 controllers and one for 2 GameCube controllers.
Wow.
But the one for 2 GameCube controllers recognizes both inputs as both controllers.
That is awesome.
Actually, no, that's pure shit, because I can't use 2 GameCube controllers.
Oh.
Because one controller is recognized as both inputs.
That's... Okay, that's just bizarre then. Yeah.
It's a problem with Mayflash.
And this, and also this controller really works well with this PC game I have that I've been playing a bit of lately. Gianna Sisters Twisted Dreams really works well with that game as well. So.
Oh man, the Gianna Sisters.
Yeah, it's fun platformer. Although I just now beat the first boss of the game, and I think most of my deaths in that level were from actually trying to defeat it. Well, I mean, I died a lot while getting through the level, but after I finally beat the boss, it was like my grand total of deaths on that level were like 116, which is kind of pathetic. But thank God it's no life counter or anything. It's just you die and you pick up from the checkpoint. So unlike the DS Gianna Sisters game where there is a life counter, but
well, that was intended to be a Mario remake.
Yeah, true. I find it kind of funny that it started as a Mario clone, and now the DS version of it, the version of it is released on the DS, a Nintendo system. That is just talk about being vindicated in some way. That is just vindicated by irony or something. It's just weird.
Ah, man. Have you ever heard of the NES game Vindicators?
No, actually.
It's a tank game, and it's really horrible.
I see. Sounds like the kind of game that the angry video game nerd would probably have a field day with.
And by really horrible, I mean really hard to play.
Yep, you'd definitely have a field day.
It's not necessarily a bad game. Like, it controls well. It controls like a tank. Like, it controls exactly as expected. It's a tank game. What do you expect?
Yeah, thank goodness. Sorry. God, I feel like Chugga whenever I make a pun sometimes.
Don't worry about that.
At least I try not to force them too much. I mean, the only case where I really force myself to make puns is when I have a friend who, he goes by Ness, like Ness from Earthbound, mostly because he actually considers that he looks like him, and he does kinda, if you look at him. Because he likes striped shirts and all that. But, kinda like Ness stuff. And he also likes wearing shorts. He doesn't like wearing pants. But and
they're comfy and easy to wear.
yeah, I've said that constantly to him to the point that it's become an inside joke between us. But it's just sometimes I'll make little puns based off of the word Ness, you know, and it's just, and he'll just be like, "God damn it, Kevin!" And it's just, they always make him laugh, even if they're just horrible, because he knows that I'm being silly, but it's just, and he knows I'll pop in with one when he least expects it, so, or even when he expects it, so. But lately, I've been just trying to tone it down so I can make it more when he least expects it, so there's more silence from him when he's like,
he's just expecting it,
because he doesn't know how to react. So yeah, but yeah, he's a good guy, even if he does have a few issues here and there. But you know, what guy doesn't nowadays, especially when you're young.
I can't say I've ever met a guy who doesn't.
Yeah, kind of my point. Especially since it's the 21st century. Power bombs and another energy tank.
Goddamn energy tanks.
At least we got more power bombs.
I've got over half my energy tanks now.
Yeah, I noticed. Excuse me.
Let's take a look at the place with my X-ray visor.
I don't think there's anything there, because I recall Pico actually being in this area too during the stream, and
yeah, there's nothing there.
So, that's a shame. He was kind of expecting it too, but oh well. At least he was being savvy about it.
Being genre savvy is not usually ever a bad thing.
Agreed. I mean, sometimes I can see where certain plot points are going to go when I watch some stuff on TV or whatever. But if the execution of said plot development is pretty good, I'm willing to accept it, even if I saw it coming.
Well, if you saw it coming, that just adds to it.
Well, that, and also the fact that just like I said, just like if even if you see it coming, if it's executed really well, then I don't really mind it. But if it's kind of executed in a haphazard kind of way, then I'm probably not gonna forgive it quite as much.
Yeah, I can see where you're going with that.
Yeah.
Oh hey, another energy tank.
God, they're just handing them out like candy, aren't they?
I have been since the start of the damn game. I had 2 energy tanks when I was fighting fucking Bomb Terizo.
Like I said, it's like they're handing them out like candy, and it's just certainly the icon for them almost looks like chiclets. If you remember those little gum candies, they're like little pieces of gum, basically. They're called chiclets.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, and I just now realized why they called them that, because gum is actually made from chicle, which is basically the sap of a certain tree. I can't remember what kind offhand, but it makes sense actually. Yeah, and a save room.
A save room indeed. But it's not time to end the video yet, so I'm not actually going to save.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh hey, 2 power-ups.
Hmm?
There's 2 power-ups in this room.
Oh.
What is that?
Looks like the floor. I can't really tell what the floor is. It looks like one of those crumble things.
Yeah, I think it was one of the crumble floors.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of
on top of it. That's
kind of surprised that at this point you haven't found the screw attack. That would just totally break everything.
Damn it! I just need to get enough. Oh hey, I can do it down here. And crunch. Hooray! More power bombs!
Yay! Michael Bay will be so proud. Okay.
And what else? More power bombs!
Jeez, speaking of handing things out like candy.
Well, as soon as I start searching for power-ups,
Yeah.
I start getting power-ups.
Ask and ye shall receive. I can never figure out how to get the ball jump to really work well on Super Metroid. I can get it to work really well in Zero Mission, but I can't really figure out how to do it in Fusion all that well.
In Super Metroid, you just have to hit jump when Samus is facing away from the wall. In
okay.
that frame where she kind of still has her feet on it.
Okay. Just kind of that always tripped me up for some reason.
Yeah, I had a lot of trouble with it too, actually. But once I figured it out, it was pretty easy.
Oh, that's handy.
Especially on emulator. On console, it's a bitch.
Oh, hey, Mom.
Who are you talking to?
That's a friend of mine.
Okay, come on.
Hang on a sec, I gotta mute my mic.
Alright. I don't think that did anything. And I have bad accuracy. Really bad accuracy. Wow, that bad accuracy. I'm fairly sure there's a save point nearby.
Okay, I'm back. I just had to move something around in my room, and it made a real, like, all kinds of squeaky noises and stuff, so I didn't really want to punctuate your video with that nonsense.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah, we have a little bundle bed underneath my bed, so we had it pulled out so a friend of mine could, like, spend the night here for a few days while we went to this local Comic-Con back in May, and we just hadn't bothered to put it back yet, and we just now putting it back under my bed, so I just got to move my computer desk back to the other side of the room, but that won't happen until tomorrow, so...
Well, I noticed the video time, and it's almost half an hour.
Okay. So I come in right at I pretty much came back at the last moment.
I nearly lost to that mini-boss, whose name I can't remember.
I think it's Dragon or something like that.
No, that's the main boss, if I remember correctly.
Well, I thought that was Ridley, but okay.
No, that Ridley's in Lower Norfair.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah. I haven't played this game in a while. My memories are a bit hazy.
No, Dragon is here in Meridia.
Okay.
And gets eaten by its babies.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That's kind of freaky. It's kind of almost like those spider things in the Lost in Space movie where they eat their wounded.
I've never seen that movie.
It's kind of cheesy, but then the show was kind of cheesy, so I'm willing to forget it.
Like, don't worry about it. I've never seen lots of movies.
The guy who voiced the robot in the TV series to come back for the movie. That was kind of cool.
I've seen maybe 5 movies in theater.
Well, I didn't see it in theaters. I saw it on a movie channel, so...
Well, I just don't watch movies.
Well, the movie I saw in theaters was Wreck-It Ralph, and that was back in November, so...
Oh, man, I saw Wreck-It Ralph as well.
Did you see the graffiti that said Aerith lives?
I'm pretty sure I did. I'm pretty sure I remember that.
And my friend Nick and I, that was one of the first things, in jokes, my friend Nick noticed when we watched the movie was Aerith lives in graffiti. It was awesome. But anyway.